Hey guys, if you haven't already, give the video a like, subscribe to my channel, and thank you for the 500 subscribers. This means a lot to me. Thank you so much. Thank you. Hey guys, and welcome to What is Deku Mastered One for All? Past 1,000,000%. Let's get into the story. So, we left off with Deku and Todoroki just concluding their battle, and their battle was pretty interesting, nevertheless, how it went and how it concluded, due to the fact that Todoroki has now he has now broken down his barrier. Like, he put down his barrier, he put down his foolish, well, stupid intent to make his father resent him, or to just like be a hero without using his power, like using his other power. And Deku basically broke it down to him, basically explaining to Todoroki that it's his power, not his father's. His father does not have control of him. You can use your power however you want to use your power. You don't have to be the hero that your father want to be. Be your own kind of hero. And with that, Todoroki has used his fire side, and Deku has went all out. And both of them were going at it until the battle came to a conclusion, and Deku was the only one standing in the tournament area. And as all that happened, Deku just now waking up. That was a little small recap, but Deku's just now waking up in the recovery girl's office, and all his injuries are healed. And Deku say basically just thinking in his head, I wonder how far can I go? I want to know if I can go past 300%. What if I increased it to 400%? I need to get stronger. I just want to get stronger. I want to be the strongest there is. I don't want to lose anymore. I don't ever want to lose. So as Deku's now putting his clothes back, like putting his clothes back on, like his shoes and his gloves, All Might then steps in and asks Izuku for just a minute before he goes out for his next battle. And All Might and Izuku walks down the hall and begins their conversation. And All Might goes to say, you know, young Midoriya, young Bakugo and young Ochaku's battle was very interesting. But Bakugo was not going all out due to the fact that she was not his true target. Even though it looked like both of them didn't have enough energy, both of them was on the last attack, both of them were using everything in their arsenal to fight each other, Bakugo wasn't serious. That battle could have went sideways at any given time if Bakugo was throwing a bunch of flurry attacks. You see, Ochaku, she does have impressive speed and can move very fast. But that's nothing against to the level of skill that Bakugo has. She was landing some impressive hits on Bakugo, some impressive strategies that put Bakugo's mind into a clusterfuck. Basically, Bakugo was trying his best to counterattack all these fast movements that she was doing towards him. But in the end, I could sense that Bakugo wasn't serious. You remember the time when you two fought in a battle trial arc? And Izuku goes to say, yes, I remember that. He instantly rushed me and the fight began. Well, with that same energy, Bakugo was fighting you with serious intent on beating you. In his battle with Ochaku, he just didn't have that intent. He didn't see her as something of a rival. He most seen her like as an opponent. While he didn't disgrace her by giving her an unworthy battle, he went all out in his definition. But if I were to say, I'd say Bakugo was only using 50% of his power when he was fighting Ochaku. And Deku goes to say, oh, really? Wow, I didn't know Bakugo didn't take her seriously. Why would he? You're his true goal. You're the one he wants to beat, young Midoriya. Right now you have a power that he doesn't understand. And while I don't know too much about you and young Bakugo's relationship with each other, all I can say is that you two are rivals. You've been together You've been together all each other's lives. And possibly, if I were to guess, I think you were following behind young Bakugo. Maybe trying to be his friend or always help him. And basically always following his shadow. I think you looked up to young Bakugo too. I think young Bakugo is someone who inspired you to be a hero as well as me. And Izuku agreed with All Might, saying, yeah, Kachan has been always in my life, and I've been trying to catch up to him. And now that I have, I want to prove to him that I can be a hero, that I can be strong. Anyway, All Might, I need to get ready for my next fight, because it's going to be intense.
Yeah, no problem, young Midoriya. As we cut off to Bakugo, and he's in this room and he's been training for a certain amount of time. And now that he's done, he's making his way to the recovery girl's office so he can get some of his injuries patched up, so he wouldn't be as exhausted. And he goes to see and he said, "Wow, she was very fast, and I picked up on that technique she had, but I don't think it does me any good. Maybe I can use that against Deku, because I feel like his power has something to do with speed. I'm gonna go all out against that nerd. I'm gonna beat him. Just where the hell did he get this power? I don't understand. He didn't have a quirk. He didn't have any kind of power. But all of a sudden he has this amazing power that he didn't tell me about. So was I in his shadow? Did he just look down on me?" All these thoughts are just running through Bakugo's head as he makes his way to the recovery girl's office and gets all patched up. And now begins Deku versus Bakugo, the final battle of the sports festival. So as Deku and Bakugo, they enter the tournament area and they just stare at each other, very cold glance, like at each other, like it's a warrior glance at each other. And you feel the wind blowing between these two. And the tension just grows as the crowd roars, and then the silence just grows as Deku and Bakugo looks at each other, and Deku goes to say, "Bakugo, I will beat you. I will prove to you that I am strong and that I can be a hero." And Bakugo goes to tell Deku, "You can't be anything, Deku. You're just a loser. You don't even have a quirk. How did you get this power? Did you just look down on me my whole life? You were following behind me. You were always in my shadow. And now you got this power. I feel like you've been hiding it from me." And Bakugo goes to just scream at Deku, "Why didn't you tell me? You must. I know." And just Bakugo couldn't even get his sentence out. He was so angry. And Bakugo, he just looks at Izuku. He looks at him and says, "You looking down on me. Why didn't you tell me you had a power? I didn't never hide my power from you. Yet you have this amazing ability. And you never told me. It's like you kept me in the shadows. But never mind that. Deku, in this fight, I promise you, I'm gonna beat you." And Bakugo just gets into his stance. He lets out a deep breath, and so does Deku. And Deku senses that Bakugo is gonna go all out in this fight. And Deku, even in his head, says, "Kachan's not nearly strong enough to fight against me. I can tell. While he was holding back fighting Ochaku, I don't think he's nowhere near strong enough to fight me. But in this battle, I'm going to show him just how strong I am. I'm going to show him that I can be a hero." And then the battle started, and Bakugo just blasts off towards Deku and throws a fury of punches. Sort of like, you know how in JoJo when they throw all those furious attacks like that, that's how Bakugo was. He was throwing so many attacks at Deku, and Deku was dodging them relatively easy. And Deku was only at this point using like 50%. He was waiting for Kanchan to get serious until one of the punches landed on Deku's face, and then he got punched in the stomach, kicked in the side, and as he went tumbling almost out of balance, Bakugo was right there beside him, kicking him in the face, and then like he was just like toying Deku around all over the like tournament stage, and Deku was seeing this, saying that, "Whoa, whoa, Bakugo's moving very fast. It's like I can't even track him. What is this?" And Deku just decided to go 100% of one for all. And this is where the battle continued. They started fighting it out. Deku instantly punched Bakugo in the stomach and punched Bakugo in the face, kicked Bakugo off of him, and then grabbed Bakugo by the leg and slammed him into the tournament stage. As Bakugo coughed up spit and blood, Deku bounced away from Bakugo, and Bakugo just charged up. You see this fury of fire just swirling around Bakugo, and Bakugo charged back at Deku, basically not giving Deku any time to think or resort to situation. So Deku just sent out so many air pressure attacks, and Bakugo was dodging them relatively easy, telling Deku that I've trained Deku. I noticed something, that in my fighting style I get too hot-headed. I'm very calm mind now. So what will you do? I'm not as hot-headed as fighting you, and I will not give you time to resort to situation. I won't even give you time to think. As Bakugo was right there in front of Izuku's face, and Izuku was not used to this. He was not used to it because he's so he's so used to retorting out the situation in his head. Like he's so much planning a strategy. He's like a Shikamaru. He like to plan out a strategy and find the counterattacks based on the person's skill and powers. So Bakugo was instantly just delivering so many attacks to Izuku, but Izuku was fast now, and as the same amount of attacks that he was delivering, Izuku was delivering the same amount of attacks twice as hard, hitting Bakugo with so many flurry of punches that Bakugo was it took toll on Bakugo's body. As Bakugo, he stands up and he says, "You know what, Deku, it's time to get serious." As Bakugo unleashes his true power. Bakugo's now powered up. His hair stands up. You see these shocks just radiating over his body and everything. And just to clarify, Bakugo does not have the one for all. This is just his true power coming out, his unleashed full potential. So Bakugo's hair stands up, and these shocks just start radiating over Bakugo's body, and Bakugo's instantly at his full potential. And this will put him on par with Izuku, due to the fact that I still want Izuku to have a rival. I still want someone to push Izuku over the limit. And that's Bakugo. Who other than Bakugo to push him over his limit? So Bakugo, he's just instantly powering up, and this is where he speeds at Deku. And due to the fact that Bakugo only seen the flash step once, he starts jumping all over the tournament stage, like basically creating these after images of himself. And Deku's just looking around trying to figure out which one is which, and he instantly gets hit, kicked in the stomach, hit in the ribs, punched in the face, and slammed to the ground. Basically, he got the same treatment that he just did to him. Bakugo returned the favor that Deku did to him, and he answered back by kicking Deku dead in his side on the ground over and over. And Deku grabbed Bakugo's leg, and he instantly just kicked Bakugo in the nose. He did some kind of gymnastic kick to where when Deku grabbed Bakugo's leg, he flipped up and kicked him dead in the nose, and then spent his body around and kicked him in the face, sending Bakugo tumbling towards the arena. Tumbling almost out of the arena, and Bakugo grabbed like his stance and threw himself right back at Deku with a full explosion. And this is when Bakugo threw an explosion at Deku, and Deku had no choice but to block. And when he did, his arm was badly wounded, and his clothes were battle damaged, and Deku had blood tickling down his face. And with that, Deku answered back with two right hooks to Bakugo's face. Bakugo didn't see it coming because Deku had sped up. Deku had used 200% of One For All as he hit Bakugo back from him. And Deku's looking at his clothes. They are tattered, battered. His hands, his arm is bleeding. His blood is tickling down his face. And Bakugo, he looks somewhat similar to just like this. He stands back up and he looks at Deku just like in this picture, with a very menacing look. And you see the both of them as the smoke clears. They both charge at each other and fist in hand as the battle continues. They're going all out. Bakugo's delivering so many flurry of attacks while he's using Flash Step to increase his speed and his strength. Well, and you hear Deku saying, "I will win!" and punch Bakugo so hard, saying, "Delaware, Detroit, smash!" and hit Bakugo with a strong attack. And this sends Bakugo's eyes rolling to the back of his head, and he spit out, like he coughed up spit and blood as he's flying towards the exit. Like, not the exit, he's flying almost out of the tournament area, and Deku just instantly, he's behind him, punches Bakugo towards the ground, and then all over, like, you know how Rock Lee was kicking Gara all over the, like, tuning exams? Well, this was what Deku was doing to Bakugo. Basically kicking Bakugo all over the tournament stage. And Bakugo, he caught on to this, and as soon as Deku was about to deliver another attack, he caught Deku's foot and started spinning him in the circle and threw him down to the ground, creating a massive explosion. As Midnight and the officials are very concerned at the tide that their battle is going. And this is like a true rivalry battle for Deku and Bakugo, which is the first one, not the first one, this is their second fight with each other. As Bakugo, he screams at Deku as he rushes towards him saying, "When were you gonna tell me, When were you gonna tell me you had a power? When were you gonna tell me you were this strong? Deku!" Deku just screams and hits Bakugo dead in the face, basically kicking him back from him because Bakugo was unleashing a whole bunch of attacks while standing over Deku, just basically punching him in the face over and over and over and over and over again. And each punch that he delivered was like an explosion type of punch. And Deku just kicked Bakugo off him, and Deku stood up, very staggered. And he goes to say in his head, "Maybe I was lying. Kachan is not weak. He's actually strong enough to push me. He's strong enough to push me," as Deku smiled. And Deku increased his power to 300%. And Deku smiled at Bakugo. And Bakugo just goes to say, "What's so funny, you damn nerd?" as he rushed Deku. And Deku at this point was so fast that when Kachan rushed Deku, he was instantly behind him and punched Bakugo dead in the back and kicked Bakugo in the face and grabbed Bakugo by his shirt, and basically jumping up in the air and then like pushing himself towards the ground like All Might did, like in a New Hampshire Smash, but he kicked the air pressure with one of his like Detroit attacks and slammed Bakugo in the ground with his knee caving in his stomach, creating a smokescreen as Bakugo says, "You're not the only one who can get faster." And Bakugo speeds up his power. He speeds up his power while he just he's using more. He's only using at least 50% of Flash Step. Now he's increased it to a good 90%, and this is starting to take a toll on Bakugo's body, as his body cannot handle Flash Step. It cannot handle moving at this kind of speed yet. And Bakugo's just up there. He's still hitting Deku with attacks, but Deku's attacks are taking a toll on Bakugo's body. He can't take anymore, as the more he gets hit, the more it starts to hurt. And Bakugo sees this, and he just says, "How strong are you, Deku?" And Deku's bones begins to creak and crack because he's spending too much time in 300%. And Bakugo's not giving way. He's not giving way. He doesn't care if the power breaks his bones or something like that. He does not care. So he rushes towards Deku and gives Deku a massive punch to the face. And Deku answers back because as soon as he punched Deku in the face, it was sort of like a collision punch. Because Deku had his punch ready for Bakugo, and both of them punched each other, and they both just collapsed in the tournament. And they both like barely stand up. As when Deku punched Bakugo in the face, and Bakugo punched Deku, Bakugo was staggered, like he was dizzy. He sped out blood in his head, like he felt like blood was tickling from his head. And he looked at Deku and he said, "I don't have much energy left. I'm exhausted." Like Bakugo was basically losing his vision and everything. Bakugo could barely see straight. And Deku, he just clenched his arm like in pain because when he punched Bakugo, and due to the fact that Deku's not used to 300%, his arm broke. Yes, his arm broke. And if you're wondering, like, why is Bakugo, he's nowhere near Deku's power. He's barely able to handle Deku at 8%. No, son, no, Black All Might, why are you doing it like this? Bakugo cannot do anything with Deku. He cannot even fight against Deku. He's not on par with Deku. Well, in this one, he is on par with Deku. Because I need someone that can push Deku past his limits. You think Goku got there without Vegeta pushing him past his limits or his friends pushing him to his limits? No. You think Goku would have beat Jiren without his friends there to push him up to use more of Ultra Instinct? No. If his friends weren't there, Goku would have lost that battle because Jiren is a big behemoth. But anyway, Deku, he's exhausted. He's exhausted, but he can still stand as they're both battle damage, and the battle needs to come to a conclusion as when they're rushing towards each other, they're delivering so many attacks to each other's bodies that Bakugo, he's not giving up. But all of a sudden, Bakugo's like his leg breaks because he's using too much of Flash Step. He can't like fluster it anymore. His body is giving way. So his leg breaks and Bakugo falls to the ground, but he stands back up, eating the pain. He's eating the pain out. He stands back up, looking at Deku with such determination as Bakugo manages to get back up, and he says, I will not lose. I will not give up. I don't care if my body breaks. I will crawl towards you. I will win." And Deku sees the determination in Bakugo's eyes as Deku's arm is broken. Deku just goes to smile. And Bakugo just says, "What's so funny, you damn nerd?" And Deku goes to say, "Your determination, Bakugo. You're just so intrigued. You're so mindset on winning. So am I." As the both of them come to a conclusion, Bakugo just lets out a sigh and says, "This battle needs to come to an end, doesn't it?" And Deku says, "Yes, both of us are at our limits. We have broken limbs on our bodies. If we continue at this rate, most of our bones will end up breaking. And so, we need this last attack to be the concluding attack." And Bakugo instantly just powers up everything in his right fist. And so does Deku. He's using all his power basically in the arm. Not the arm that's broken. He's using all his power in the other arm. And basically Deku just goes to 400%. And his arm, he feels the cracking, the pressure, the bone breaking in his arm. And Bakugo and Deku rush at each other and punch each other dead in the face. As Deku was able to nullify some of this damage, basically pushing back, but it wasn't enough. Because what Deku did, he tried to push back, but as soon as Bakugo punched him in the face, it was an explosion that sent both of them flying out of the tournament area. Deku crashed into the other wall, and Bakugo crashed into the other wall. But basically, say for example, when they collided, you know how Sasuke and Naruto would collide with each other. When they collided, both of their attacks repelled each other in different directions, and the battle came to an end. And that's where we're going to end this one at, guys. I know, I know, I know. So, with this one, I hope it was much interesting for you guys as it was for me telling you this part. And I like how it ended and I like how it started. I like that the battle was interesting for Deku and Bakugo, and that Bakugo is sort of this rival towards Deku that can push him to new levels. Keep in mind, Bakugo is going to be the one to push Deku past his limits. And if I might have said that Bakugo was not going to push Deku past his limits, or Bakugo wasn't going to be any match for Deku in the near future, no, I kind of want Bakugo to be that rival, because Deku needs some kind of rival and he doesn't have one in this series. So Bakugo is going to be that rival towards Deku. He's going to be that rival that pushes Deku to use way more of his power than usual. And with that being said, you guys have a nice day, a nice night. And what if Deku was a Super Saiyan? Well, what if Deku was a Saiyan? Is coming out probably later today. I don't know when, probably later today. So I'm going to make that up for you guys. And without any further ado, you already know the deal. Plus Ultra. Good night, guys.